Welcome to Energetics with Kim and Veronica, where we invite you to nourish the energy of your inner why, your inner healing, magic, prosperity, your curiosity, clarity, playfulness. Welcome home.
Hey everyone, it's Kim and Veronica of Energetics, and we are inviting you to hang out with us, get curious, and to listen with beginner's mind, because there's going to be a lot of stuff you've heard before, and we're inviting you to listen with beginner's mind, curious about what else is possible that you might be able to receive.
I love it. Hello, everyone. In our last episode, we really went deep on the concept of how everything is energy and what that means to us as we're looking to go within energetically to examine, to rewire, to redefine our inner being, and thus have a different experience in our day-to-day life. And so, one of the key concepts that Kim and I have really dove deeply into over the years, and that we like to talk about a lot, is receiving.
Yeah, and receiving is so, oh my God, it's everything. It really is. And it's so easy for us to think, yeah, I know all about that. I know all about receiving. And we want to really play with more possibilities and receiving in ways that, I don't know, that might be beyond our logical mind of what the word even means.
Yeah, I so agree. And, what if everything that is happening to us is happening for us? But because of how we have become conditioned to perceive and receive the world, we are shutting off, the beauty, the magic, the wisdom, the intelligence, the guidance that is here for us because we haven't properly learned or practiced to receive.
Yeah. And you know what, when people say it's not, life isn't happening to me, it's happening for me, that is such a big piece for people. It really is. Like that was a big piece for me. I don't know about you, Veronica, and I really had to play with. Did that sound just come through? Did you hear that sound? No? Okay, cool. Hey, everyone. Yeah, that piece of life is happening for me and not to me. It really gives us that opportunity to pause. It gives me that opportunity to pause and not make it all about me, but also look at my own reaction to it and to the thing, right? And to really notice my reaction. That's, something triggers me. It's because I have that as a trigger, right? It's not, it's not about the judgment of the person that said the thing or the thing that happened. It's about my self-mastery is how I can be with that thing, right? Doesn't mean I have to like it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Doesn't mean I have to take it home with me. But my self-mastery is how I be with it. Can I receive it as it is without making a thing? Because as soon as I attach myself to it, it'll attach itself to me, right? And meaning, like, if I let it take me down the rabbit hole, oh yeah, it'll handhold me. It'll hold my hand and dance we do. And and so that's what that is for me. What about you? And so that is also receiving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you and I both read a gazillion books, as it comes to spirituality and self-development, and one of my favorites is The Surrender Experiment by Michael A. Singer. And I read it about three or 4 years ago, and it just like took my breath away. And I really challenged myself to practice the surrender, to allow myself to receive, right? And so we'll talk about surrender in a whole other topic, in a whole other episode. But you know, in order to be able to receive what's here for me, there is kind of a basic way of surrendering to, you know, knowing that what is happening is for me, you know, and you know, I find it really helps to have specific examples. And so one of the things that I heard another speaker mention is that, especially in the tough times, right? Especially when it feels like something really tough is happening, if there's a way that we can pause and consider that there's something beautiful here, that there's something transformative here, that there's something here that upon appearance doesn't seem like it's for us, but it truly is. It can open us up to allow us to receive the beauty, the wisdom, the nugget, the jewel. But when we're, you know, fighting against it, we're not receiving. We're not able to receive what is here for us. And that goes for the good things and the bad things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? Like you said, like when we wanted something to turn out a certain way, and it doesn't, that's when we tend to think, you know, the universe doesn't have our back. And one of the things that I love about everything that you just shared is how I started looking at that is it didn't turn out the way that I thought it might or that I hoped it might. What if it's simply because the universe truly does have my back and I was thinking way too small? Right? So for me, it doesn't mean it wasn't meant to be. That's not what it is for me. For me, I just pause and look at what is in front of me and just kind of go, okay, so maybe I was thinking way too small and the universe has my back. So can I just be with what is right here, right in front of me? And that is also, like you said, the art of surrender, which you were the one that turned me on to his book, which, oh my God, people, if you have not read that book, I highly suggest. Yeah. So the, what is it? The Surrender Experiment, Michael Eisinger.
Yes. Gooder.
Yeah. And so, like I said, it doesn't mean we have to like what is, but when we can just be with what is, and being with what is another way of receiving it and allowing it to receive us. Because here's the thing, right? For me, in order for me to receive, I also have to be willing to be received. Right? It's not a one-way thing. If I want to be received, I need to be able to receive, and vice versa. Same thing, right? It's like, okay, so I need you, you know, for me, it's not need, let's get rid of that word. It's kind of like, I can receive you. Can you receive me? Isn't that cool? Because it's kind of really like, cool. If I don't think that you can receive me as I am, then am I going to be authentic? Right? I might, you know, put this on my head because that's what I think you require to receive me. Right? And so now I'm going to start doing all the things that aren't true for me, that aren't authentic for me, because I want you to be my friend. I want you to be able to receive me. So if I want to receive, I have to be willing to be received for who I am in that moment, which can change 5 minutes later and 5 minutes after that, because that's how life is, right? For me, it's always about not putting myself in the box of this is who I am. No, that's who I am today in this moment. Yeah. Can I be willing to receive even more of me, which allows me to let go of who I even think I am? Right.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one for folks, right?
It is.
To be able to receive yourself and yeah. And it's not something
and allowing others
conversation. Yeah. It's not something just through a conversation can just change overnight through the awareness, right? It really is about the living embodiment of how do I consider that as I go through my life and really watch for the ways in which I'm not being willing to be received, where I'm not being willing to receive myself or allow others to receive me. And how do I change myself? How do I rewire it? Like we were talking about in a prior episode of like, how am I bringing myself into that situation energetically, so that I can be received and I can receive myself.
Yep, exactly. And receive others as they are. Like when I'm willing to be authentically me and allowing you to receive me as is, that's me showing up in my truth, what's actually true for me. And if you can't receive me, and then maybe, you know what I mean? Then it's kind of like, love ya. Right. And so a lot of people, are so trying to fit in, right? And so they're not showing up authentic because they don't think people can receive them. If I show up truly being me, jeepers, maybe you're going to find out things about me or learn about me, and then you won't like me. So people put on the thing, right? And so it kind of reminds me of a couple years ago. I was outside doing my thing, whatever that is, and a bird landed about a foot and a half away from me, like right here. Bird, hi bird. And so my default was to make myself invisible. Why? Because I didn't want to scare it away. Right? And so as soon as I did that and I noticed, well, my default was to make myself invisible so that I wouldn't scare it away. And then I went, oh, where else in my life and living do I make myself invisible because I'm scared? I don't want to scare somebody or something away. So how could I receive that bird and allow it to receive me if I'm standing there invisible? Right?
So beautiful. And I love how you bring it down to the simple exchange because, like I said, like it's not something this conversation is going to change. It's about that embodiment. So the fact that you had that small moment and could really reflect and observe and then contemplate, how does that translate to the rest of your life? It really, the small things, the small interactions, the small awarenesses really can be really reflective of the big things in our life.
Yeah, because receiving is receiving is receiving is receiving. The form it takes is just the form it takes. I couldn't allow that bird to receive me because I didn't want to scare it away. I was afraid that who I am, my presence would scare it away. And so if receiving is receiving is receiving, and the form it takes is just the form, then that might mean, okay, if I can't receive a compliment, perhaps that is just the form it's taking in that moment where I get to go, well, if it's true that receiving is receiving is receiving, and a compliment's the form, just a form, and I can't even receive that, that's letting me know I have a thing with receiving.
Yeah.
And allowing others to receive me. And does that even reflect on, money coming in? Because if it's true that the energy if the language of the universe is how we're functioning on that energetics, right? The energetics, and that's the language of the universe. Well, if I have a thing about receiving, then how can I even receive the gifts and the wisdom of the universe? How can I receive money with ease? How can I receive, those wisdom women and all the things if I'm doing this invisible thing? I'm not allowing the world to receive me, and I'm not receiving it. It's such a fun thing to play with. It really is. I love this conversation. I could just go and this here and that here and that, and right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and a compliment is a great thing to examine. Like how easy is it for you to receive compliments? How easy is it for you to receive when someone's willing to offer you some help, a helping hand? How easy is it for us to just say, no, 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 it's okay. Or when someone gives a compliment, say, oh yeah, but, right. And so those are really great opportunities to self-reflect and look at how is it that you respond. And because that translates to you how you're receiving from the universe in general. And Kim, you have a really good story about gifts, and and this was a while back where you were not willing to receive, I think it was appreciation for gifts that you were giving. So you used to hide away.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah. So I couldn't receive the energy of that at all. It just was really uncomfortable for me. And so I got really, really, really good at making myself invisible. Right? And so I was at a baby shower. I don't know, this must have been in the late 80s, early 90s. I was at a baby shower, and as the lady was opening up the gifts, oh my God, she was doing all the ooh la la, and everybody was doing the oh my God, and it was a thing. And I was like, ooh, that's really but I joined them in the ooh la la of giving, right? But I was like, eh. So I calculated when she would be opening up the gift I was giving, so that I could make myself invisible and be in the washroom. And so I timed it. I'm like watching and doing the thing. Okay, mine's coming up after this one, I think. Yep, it is. I went to the washroom and stayed there, listening at the door. My ear pretty much at the door so that I could feel safe to come out when she was deeply into another gift. Because I couldn't receive the energy of all that attention being focused on me, all that, and at the time, I don't think I realized it was the energy of. I think I thought it was more the attention. I didn't want that attention. So it was they're kind of married for me in that moment. It was I couldn't receive the energy of the attention. So all that energy coming my way, I did not know how to receive it. So I made myself invisible.
I love that example.
Right?
And it's so good. And I'm sure we all can relate, in different ways in our life about how it feels uncomfortable, and it's, for various different reasons. So we struggle with receiving the tough things. We struggle with receiving the good things. We struggle with receiving ourselves and others and allowing others to receive us. And so, again, as we look to invite, something to start reflecting on for yourselves is looking at in your life, where is it that you are struggling to receive? And can you soften? Can you look at it from a different perspective and, maybe even challenge yourself a bit to start to receive, if it's a compliment, like, can you just say thank you? If it's something difficult in your life, can you even just shift your perspective just to think about in that moment, what if this is happening for me and I just can't see it? And that's something that I've been practicing the last few years. It's like, I don't see anything good about this, but if I am going to trust or live my life under the assumption that everything is happening for me, what if there is something beautiful here that I can't see right now? And so I can soften into receiving what's there and navigating through what's there to allow something brilliant and beautiful to come out of it, whatever that might be. And I've had really amazing things come out of difficult times. I'm sure we all have. And I've noticed that the softening in those moments has changed the speed at which I've been able to receive those things.
And I love how you pulled that in, because it's like, for me, I get to go, yeah, okay, so there's Poop Show 101 happening in front of me. And okay, if I really am aware that, yeah, this is happening for me, I might not understand it yet. I don't need to try to figure it out. But if I can trust that the universe, God, whatever you call it, truly does have my back, and I don't have to try to find the beautiful thing that's in it, because in that moment I might not be able to. But if I can just trust that the universe has my back, my infinite being has my back, all of that has my back, and just soften into what is, that's when we can receive the beauty and perhaps the next step. Because, hey, like I said earlier, maybe we were thinking too small. and the universe does have our back. And so because we can be such control freaks of nature, this is how I thought it should look. This is what I wanted it to look. This is what it was supposed to look like. Oh, wait, that's not what it's looking like. Oh, right. But if I can go, okay, so, if it's actually true that the universe does have my back, can I soften into that and just get curious about now what?
Yeah. And like Kim and I really like to be very clear that, the Poop Show 101 is happening, and it's not about slapping on a positive affirmation, right?
No.
And trying to pretend like you don't have uncomfortable feelings about it. It's about, okay, yeah, I do have this doesn't feel good and I don't like what's happening, but what if, like, can I shift? Can I contemplate it differently? Can I consider that maybe something else is happening? And even in that contemplation, there's a softening that happens. So even if it's just as simple as that contemplation and that, okay, how else might I be able to look at this? Or can I just consider that even if I can't see anything good coming out of this, that maybe there is, and can I soften into receiving whatever that might be, even though I don't know what it looks like?
Exactly. I love that. And yeah, so I think that it's, so how much time do we got left?
Couple minutes.
Okay.
The story.
Yeah, I was thinking of, the receiving thing, another example, and you mentioned it, and another example for me is, I always loved to go and help people. Yep, you need some help? Sure, yeah, uh-huh. And then I was doing something and somebody called me. She said, "What are you doing?" I shared with her what I was doing. And she said, "Okay, I'm going to come help." And I thought, no, I'm good. And I mean, this woman was going to have to take 3 buses to get to where I lived, all the things, right? City buses. And she was like, no, I want to come help, And I said, no, I'm good. Do you know what she said to me that blew my hair? She said, "You are so selfish." That's what she said to me. "You are so selfish." Now me, I'm thinking I'm anything but, because I'm saving her from having to come over and help me, and she's a busy woman too, and all the things, right? And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "How does it make you feel when you help people? You're helping people all the time. How does it make you feel?" I said, "Oh my God, it makes me feel really, really good." And she said, "Do you think you're the only one that gets to feel really good? Do you think I don't deserve to feel good helping you?" And I went, "Oh my God." And I went, "Oh my God." She said, "Yeah, I'm on my way over." So I couldn't receive her coming over to help because I was like, oh no, I was going to save her of the burden of coming to help me. Right? And so I was like, no, it's all good. She called me out. "You are so selfish." And I went, "Oh my God." She said, "Why can't you let me feel good helping you?" Boom. There it was in my face. Now when people say they want to help me, yeah,
That's brilliant. I love that.
yeah, and it's like, can I receive that? Of course I can carry my own groceries, but can I receive somebody else contributing to me in that way? Can I receive it? Because receiving is receiving is receiving is receiving. And so it's just, if money's an issue, is it possibly a receiving thing? Possibly, right?
Yeah.
And so, the universe has our back. And when we start looking at, okay, look, I couldn't receive that little tiny thing there. How could I possibly receive the big thing if I can't even receive the little thing? Right? Receiving is receiving. And maybe it doesn't have big and little. I don't know. But anyway, so practicing noticing where we're not receiving, especially when it comes to things like compliments. I used to be brilliant at not receiving a compliment. Brilliant. I would let it get about this close and I would go, "Oh, and you have great hair too." Something, anything. Right?
That's so good.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. And so I noticed it. Oh, and a hug, forget it. Not happening. And now I'm like a hugger. Right. That's how I say hello now. Is that so? I just noticed all that, like you were saying, just start to notice. Don't make yourself wrong. You get to go, oh my God, I'm hilarious. I just noticed I wasn't willing to receive that. I noticed I wasn't willing to receive that. And we get to giggle and laugh at ourselves, not make ourselves wrong for it. We get to go, oh my God, there it is. Okay, cool. And so for me, with the compliment thing, I just learned to, like you said, just say thank you. But man, oh man, I'd hold my breath and everything. It was so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable. I would hold my breath because I didn't know how to embody that appreciation, that gratitude. I couldn't receive it. And I didn't know what to do with it. So I got brilliant at becoming invisible. The energy would get here and back at you.
Oh, so good. Well, and how many of us have been told it's better to give than to receive, right? And so that's been
Oh my God.
yeah.
I know.
So beautiful conversation. Thank you, Kim. I love all your stories. You make me laugh. And we always like to throw in a takeaway, right? A consideration of something to play with, because it's the living embodiment where we start to see changes in our life, both in how we experience it internally and also what we end up seeing actualizing our lives. So inviting you to just look at, where are you resisting to receive the Poop Show 101s, the difficult things? Where are you resisting to receive the good things? And where is a resistance on the willingness to receive yourself or others?
Yeah, I love it.
Amazing. Okay, until next time. So much love to everyone. Bye.
Hugs. Receive our love.